Hello everyone. So in the last video we have seen how to create the staff model classes and how we can return the staff and staff list, and also we have seen how we can use Postman for the same purpose as we as we one second. Okay. How we can use Postman sorry for the same purpose as we do in the let's say um, browser. Okay, same thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm thinking of doing another thing, because we have seen okay, how to do a get scenario, right, using the object, and how we can route a URL to a get scenario, and we can return the object. We can do a get scenario. So now what I'm trying to do is what if we could do something like this. For example, let's say this array list has some data, right? So what if we have a delete scenario? What if we send a URL with the staff ID? Okay, that should go to a particular routes in a functionality, and the functionality where what we have to do is sorry, using the staff ID, what if we delete the particular staff from the list? Okay, a delete scenario. Okay, so to do this we cannot do it with the browser. We need Postman. So we have seen how to use Postman for get scenario. Now we need to know how to do it for the delete scenario. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to first, for our scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this array list outside of the method, and I'm going to make it a global variable. Because if I want to delete something from the array list, I'm going to write a new route and a new method for the same functionality, for the functionality inside this controller. So that method should be able to access this array, right? Because it has to delete some element from the array sorry, using the staff ID. So the array should be a global variable. So what I will do is I will cut it, okay, and I will make it a global variable. Okay, let's have it here. Okay, then these values that has been added, let me add in the array in the scenario as well. I mean in this first step as well. I will add the arrays when I'm initializing the array there itself. I will add the elements as well. Okay, instead of adding them inside the get staffs. So let's keep the get staffs only just for returning the staffs values. Okay, so there's a way to add these elements, the three staffs inside the array list staffs in the first initialization itself. Okay, declaration, it's in this same line we can do it. So how we can do it is, let's say list dot off. Okay, you can use list dot off, and you can pass all the um, objects. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just passing this objects. That means an object and a list of all these three objects are being created. Okay, so and comma this. Okay, so so what I can do is I'll type enter so that you can see it together. So a list, new array list of staff will be created with containing the list of these three objects. Okay, sorry, you can study a little more about the list of method and how you can initialize an array or list while during the declaration itself. Okay, you can study more on collections if you want. So what we have done here, okay, creating three new objects and adding them one by one inside the method. Here we are doing it outside while declaring the array creating the list is created here, and then these all three objects are being added at the same line. So an array will three objects will be created in the very in this line itself. Okay, so we can remove everything from here. So now the get staffs method will obviously have gets its own logical meaning, because get staffs mean you are supposed to return the staffs, not that you are going to add staffs inside. Okay, so simply this get staffs method will return the staff what do you call staffs list where already three elements are there. Okay, it will simply return the staffs, the same functionality, but we have taken the elements adding scenario of the array outside of these methodologies as a global one, because we are going to write a delete scenario that is going to affect the same list. So better it should be outside, right? A global variable. Okay. I hope you got it. Okay, that is fine. So now what I'm going to do is the user is going to pass a new staff ID. Okay, because we know inside staff we have staff ID, right? You got it. User is going to pass a staff ID. Using the staff ID, we are going to delete the particular staff from this array list. Okay, so what I will do is I will first write, if you want to delete something, you have to write delete mapping. Okay, and you have to route, always you have to create a URL to route. Okay, so what is our route URL is, let me have something like let's say delete /delete, and I need to pass a variable, right? A staff ID. So how we can pass it? I'm going to pass it as a path parameter. Okay, so how I'm going to do is I need to open I need two curly braces, and within that I will say I'm going to pass a path parameter that will be called as staff ID. Okay, I can give any name here, that doesn't matter. Okay, then I will say public, I'm going to delete, right? Void delete staff. Okay, and there I need to say I'm going to pass a path variable. Okay, so what I will do is we have to say use another annotation called path variable. So you see there's something called path variable, right? So give that annotation and say our path variable is going to be an integer, right? It's a staff ID. So I will say int, then I have to pass the same name I am saying here, staff ID. Okay, so what does it mean is, please, the method will know what is the instruction is. That means please check the URL and look for a variable called staff ID. There's a path variable with the name of staff ID will be there. Okay, so this method will check here, okay, whatever comes after delete will be the path variable, and that will be an int, so that it can take and process it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a for loop to make the scenario happen. So what I will do is I will say for staffs. Okay, that means I'm looping the staffs array, which is here, and I'm going to take each and every staff element. Okay, so I hope you are aware of this enhanced for loop. Okay, so then I'm going to check for whichever the staff, the same staff ID is same, I'm going to remove the staff from this list. Okay, so I will do is if I write an if condition, if staff dot get staff ID, right? Get staff ID. So for this particular object, if the staff ID is equal to our staff ID, that is being passed as a path parameter, path variable. Okay. Okay. For any object, their staff ID is equal to the staff ID we are passing inside the method. Please remove the object from the list. Okay. So I will say staffs dot remove this particular staff. Okay, you got it. So basically that's all we have to do. It's a simply and enhanced for loop, nothing but that. Okay, so then what we can do is, if you want to verify, we can again call this get staff method and see whether the element is removed or not. You got it. So for example, if I am passing, let's say number 4 for Jax, then as a staff ID here, so 4444, then that particular staff ID staff element should be removed from the list. Then if I hit this get staffs again, it should give only 2 elements, Harry and Peter, not Jax. Hope you understand it. So I will save that. I will build it first. Now the build is successful. So what I will do is I will run this application. So the application is up and running. Okay, so what I will do is I will use the Postman to retrieve the data. So this is staff's endpoint to get the data. So I'm going to get the data now. You see, we are getting all the three datas, right? Harry, Jax, and Peter. Okay. So one thing is, from now on, I will be mostly using Postman because browser is not enough for delete or other scenarios. It is only enough for get scenarios. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create a delete and call the delete method and remove this number 4444 Jax data. Okay. So how to do is create new HTTP and I got this one. So I will select delete here and I will say okay, HTTP localhost 8080, and what is my appendix? My appendix is delete and the staff ID. So I will type delete and let's go for 4444. Okay, so it's a delete endpoint and with the staff ID as we have mentioned. So here if you read this endpoint, you will know it should be supposed to routed to this delete mapping endpoint because it's a delete and the URL is also correct. The staff ID value is 4444. So then the 4444 will be taken here and analyzed with the looping scenarios. It will choose the correct staff with the same staff ID and it will remove it from the list. Okay, so let me hit it here. Okay, this the status is 200. That means a success scenario. That means the functionality has been successful. So how I can verify the number 444 has been removed? So 444 is none other than this staff Jax. So his data should be removed now, right? So what I will do is I will use Postman to go for a get call to see all the existing staffs. Now this guy should have been removed, right? So I'll go for the call now and you can see he has been removed. We only have two people, that is 1234 and 5555. So if I want to remove 123 for the Harry also, let me try that as well. So I will copy his staff ID. I will again go for delete and try to delete his value by pasting it here. So I will send it again. It's a 200 success. So I will again go to the get method and try to see whether he has been removed. So I will click send and you can see Harry also has been removed. Peter is only available there. So this is how we can verify and check and create a delete endpoint, and we can delete the data using Postman. So if you want to get the existing data using a browser, you can again do, because get is always possible with the browser, right? So you can see even in the browser, if you go for all this staff's data, you can see only Peter as how it is in the Postman. But if you want to do delete or other operations, you must need Postman or some other tools. Browser is not enough.